I recently had a burning question and a burning issue that I took up with God. As a Christian, I love giving. I love giving of my time, I love giving of my tithes, and I love giving of myself to various ministries for the furtherment of God's kingdom. But then I found myself at a situation, or various times I find myself at a point where I'm asking, Lord, I'm giving so much of my time to your ministries, I'm giving so much in terms of tithing for the various ministries, but I don't receive in my life. And God gave me revelation with regards to that particular burning question. And I want to share that revelation with you in the hopes that it might shift your thinking and your perspective in terms of challenging times that you might be finding yourself in as well. So I want to invite you as we go into this particular insight, just to have an open mind and an open thinking and ask yourself, how does this relate to me and to my particular journey? Welcome back to my channel. Okay, on this channel, my aim is always to provide you with value and with insights that will help you shift and change your thinking, helping you live your life to a higher purpose and leading you on a path where you are actually living your life God's way. Like I said, I had a burning question that I took up with the Lord, and when He gave me the response, it kind of like dumbfounded me because of the simplicity of the answer. As a man, it's very easy for me to give and to give and to give, but whenever people are blessing me, or whenever I'm on the receiving end, it's always difficult for me to receive from other people, because I always see it as charity or as handouts, because that is my human reasoning, that is my human understanding. And when I was going through the book of Proverbs, God was really answering me with regards to that particular burning question that I had, and that is why I want to share it with you on this particular insight. All right, in the book of John 1 verse 16, God says, of His fullness we have all we received, and grace for grace. That verse basically tells me that as a human being, I've already received everything that I need to receive from God. But what is blocking God from actually getting those blessings through to me? Well, I can't really say blocking God, but what is stopping me from receiving those blessings that God has already provided to me, as I mentioned a few moments ago, is my human reasoning, my human understanding and interpretation of the world around me. Sometimes I have a feeling of unworthiness where I feel I'm not good enough to be receiving. Sometimes it's pride where, someone is trying to bless me, but I'm like, no, it's okay, you don't have to, you shouldn't have to do that. And this is not just something that men deal with only, but I believe that women deal with that as well, because it is part of our human nature. We do have a deep-rooted sense of unworthiness within ourselves. We do have a deep-rooted sense of pride within ourselves. This is part of our DNA. This is part of who we are as human beings. But that is why the word says it is grace for grace. Everything that we have received is purely by grace. It is by nothing that we are doing on our own. No actions that we can perform can ever make us worthy of receiving. So as I was going through the book of Proverbs, God gave me this understanding, and He was telling him, my son, I have blessed you abundantly, but you refuse to open up to receive the blessings that I've been pouring out into your life. And I was like thinking, but Lord, how do I block you? And God gave me that understanding. He says, most of the time, you always feel unworthy to receive from me. Sometimes it's even pride that springs up, and you feel that you don't want charity, you don't want handouts. But this is my hand working through people to bless you with regards to certain situations and certain levels that I'm trying to get through to you, or trying to get you to in terms of your journey, in terms of your walk. I might just be using people or circumstances to get you through a particular storm, but I need you to see and experience my hand in all that I'm doing. All right, so God's desire is to bless us and bless us abundantly. That is why Jesus says in John 10 verse 10, the second part, He says that, I have come to give you life and give your life abundantly. So there is abundant blessings available for all of us. Okay, there is no need for us to battle or to struggle, but we need to have that relationship with God where we can start receiving from Him and start believing that what we've asked for, we have already received. So how do we step into that area of receiving from God? Well, I've made a few notes here that I want to share with you. That has been helping me in terms of my journey, in terms of opening up and learning to receive from God. And I really want to share this with you. So let's have a look at that notes quickly. The first one that I have there is, cultivate a relationship with God. So how do you cultivate a relationship with God? You learn to spend time in His Word. You learn to spend time meditating, praying, and thinking on the thoughts of God. How does God see this particular situation? How would God want me to react in a particular situation? The more time you spend in the presence of God, you're developing a deeper relationship and a deeper understanding of who He is and how He is capable of working within your life. Okay, another way that you can learn to open up and cultivate a deeper relationship with God in terms of your journey and actually start receiving from Him is by learning to just, surrender and trust Him completely. And if you don't know how to do that, you can go back to my previous video. I'll drop the link to that particular video in the comments. And you can actually see how God worked in my life when I learned to surrender completely to Him in an absolute crisis situation that regarded both not just me, but my family as well. See, when we surrender and we release to God completely, then God steers this vehicle we call life in ways we could never imagine and never understand. Another way that I've learned to open up and to start receiving from God was to become more grateful, to just practice more gratitude in my daily living, in my daily walk. This has really helped me elevate my life to a higher level and a higher level of understanding as well as receiving from God, because now suddenly doors are appearing that I never knew existed before, and they're starting to open up for me because I've gotten into this habit, this attitude of gratitude as I'm walking with God in my daily commute. And the last one that I want to share with you is, be open and receptive to the things of God. We are so open and receptive to the interpretations and the understandings of the world, but few of us are actually open and receptive to interpreting the things of God. So be open and receptive to the things of God. Not everything is factually based. Sometimes you need to lean into the spiritual guidance that God puts into all of us. I really hope that you're going to take these on board with you as it helps you in terms of receiving from God on a deeper level. And I hope you got value from this particular insight. And if you did get value, please by all means share it with the next person. Let's impact more lives on YouTube using God's word and God's way. Right, if you are new to the channel or if you haven't yet, please by all means do subscribe. The aim is to impact your life with value and insights that will help you live your life on a higher level, on a truer purpose, leading you down the path of God's way. Thank you very much for joining me for another insight. Thank you very much for the value and the feedback that I've been receiving from you as well. I deeply appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. For now, this is Vinnie Mac saying, change your thinking, change your world.